Hello there guys, hope everyone is good. Welcome back to a new video. This one is going to be a very important video if you are somebody who trades the market. So please stay around and obviously you'll take something from this video. So we are going to go over Friday profit taking. For those who don't know what this is, it's basically finding moves within the market based off the standpoint that profits will be taken on a Friday and therefore it will cause a reaction within the market. Okay? So when we are looking at Friday profit taking, we are basically looking for a few different things. We're looking for large moves throughout the week that are yet to potentially retrace due to the momentum behind the move. So this is basically going to be outlined by some large moves that we're going to go over in the next slide. The reason for this is that we have investors, retail traders, institutions closing their positions for the weekend. So if you're someone who takes a trade Monday, Tuesday, and you hold the trade over the week, by the time it gets to Friday, a lot of people, not all, but a lot, are then going to take their profits from the position, and therefore there will be less traders in the market in the direction of obviously that move. Due to this, that's going to cause kind of like an injection of volume into the market where you will see some large moves play out. And obviously, if you do this kind of with caution, there's some large moves to capitalize on. So we're going to go over how to take advantage of this happening. So the first thing that I want to do now is go over some weekly moves. So this is a 4-hour time frame chart. On the left-hand side, we've got a sell example or a downward moving market. And on the right-hand side, we have a bullish market or a bullish weekly market. The reason being is that if we look on the left-hand example, we have the Sunday open at the top. And by the time we get to Wednesday, we are still continuing to push down with momentum. On the right hand side, you can see the Sunday open is in and around the bottom of this kind of chart. And then by Wednesday, we have still made a bullish move to the upside. So obviously, you can look at your chart on just a Friday and outline this, which we'll go over next. But it's just basically finding markets that have done a large move throughout the week, and therefore you can look to find some opportunities. So these two markets now, if we look what happens on the Friday, you can see here the Sunday open as it was is at the top. Price continued to push down, and then Friday going into Monday, we got this reaction, which obviously took out the previous lower high and then changed the market structure within the market. On the right hand side here, we've seen the Sunday open, we've seen the Wednesday mid market that we spoke about in the previous example, and then by Friday going into Monday, we then got a pullback. This doesn't necessarily mean a reversal, although this market did continue to push down. But it just basically means that you might be able to catch something within this area using what we're going to go over next. And then following that, obviously take something from the market. So it's not a complicated process. Most people who can obviously read a chart will be able to identify this. And obviously after this, we are going to go into the actual charts themselves. So these are just two easy examples of a market moving one way throughout the whole of the week. Because you've got to think, if you're looking at a weekly candle, a lot of them are going to have wicks on. If by the end of the day and by the end of the week you've had your open and then prices coming down to close, usually you will see some form of wick. To create that wick, you need the pullback, and that's as easy as it needs to be. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go into the charts, and then we can look at some potential entry areas as to why you. So here we are on Euro Canadian dollar on the 4-hour time frame. This area here that I've highlighted is basically the Sunday open. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make the high or low of the week. It's just something where the market has opened. So if we look at this example here, we can see that throughout the week, especially after Wednesday, where we've most likely had some news, price has continued to push to the downside. So you've got to think, if you are an investor in this position, let's just assume you've taken a trade from here, doesn't necessarily have to be, and you're currently still in this trade, okay? We can see here that this is Friday morning at about 6 a.m. So if we go forward a couple more candles to the afternoon, so this is the 2 o'clock candle where we're going into now the weekend. Obviously, if you're looking at like 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock UK time, you're going to probably want to start packing it up for the day, especially obviously the London traders. And what can you see? The trade is currently, let's say here. What do you notice about where price currently is in this market? Well, if we look at simple market structure, you can see that price has come to a low within the market. If you also look to the right hand side, you can see that price is also at a round psychological number of 1.47. So you've got a couple of reasons why investors might get in and out of a trade here. One, you've got structure, and two, you've got the round number. So what can you see here? Let's just assume now it becomes the end of the day. Obviously, this candle would have closed at 6 p.m. What do you notice now? Price then goes into the next week, and you get obviously your pullback reaction. It's not to say that price is going to reverse, but it shows you that obviously the market turned around here because traders from the previous week are taking their profits going into the next week. And then obviously sometimes you may get a complete new change in direction. Other times you might just get a small pullback. But if you look here, you've gone from 147 up to 147.50. So you've got a 50 pip move that you could have potentially capitalized on at any given point. You might be someone who trades, I don't know, the 15-minute time frame. So when price comes into this kind of area here, you start looking for potential entry signals. Do you want, something like this? A change of structure. You've had the low or the high, makes a low, break, retest, and then push up. Even if you was just trading a price action standpoint with a bullish candle, you might even go from here, stop loss below the level, and obviously this trade would have ended up running up to nearly 1.7R. So it's just something, it doesn't matter how you potentially enter because everyone watching this video is most likely going to have their own strategy. The strategy I like to use is with pending orders. So obviously if I see price come into an area of interest in and around the Friday evening or the late Friday afternoon, it gives me extra reason to potentially enter that trade. So it's not necessarily my only requirement, but it definitely builds confidence in and around the trade so that I want to obviously potentially. So this example here is another great one. And the reason this is a good one is because it's also based around news. So when news is in the market as well, this is something that really does work. So this one, we're going to go over an NFP example. So NFP was obviously the week just gone on the 5th of July, the first Friday of every month. So if we're looking at this market, we would come on the Friday morning and price was obviously here if you are a London trader. If we then look what happens, is that you can see that there includes the build up to NFP. And then this is obviously the overall reaction. So you can see that by 6 p.m., this candle on gold has closed here. So you're thinking, well, all the people who are buying from NFP due to the negative data are obviously putting their money away from the US dollar and into gold because that's just how it works. Now, what do you notice about where price currently is? Price has currently come up to a high which previously had a very large reaction in the market. This is exactly the same. This was another perfect example, actually, if we look here, is that previously news came out, pushed all the way down, and what do we notice? Friday going into Sunday, price then started pushing up because of the profit taking from the news. If we then look at the example that I can give from obviously the time just gone, we are looking at this. Price comes up, comes into this high. You've also potentially got a round number on gold at 23.90. Depends how you view round numbers. But what do you notice with this? Price has come up after the news. All the people who are buying, where are they targeting? Where's their take profits? Someone who's bought, for example, I don't know, break of the highs. Let's say they've just put the stop there for whatever reason. Where's their first TP? Their first TP is this high to the left. So by targeting that, what do you then notice happen? When price comes to that area, you then start seeing your pullback. And there you go, profit taking happened. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go off the exact tip of it because we know that's not how the market works. But just by looking at this example here, you might have gone into a lower time frame, i.e. the 15-minute. And then same again, just done what we did in the last example. Identified that price has now made this level here. You've got a break of structure within the market. If you didn't want to use that one, you could use that one and then obviously trade the market back down. It's as simple as that. So that is a video on how to obviously use the Friday timings to your advantage in and around news. or if there's no news at all. If you just see a sharp move in the market, there's nothing wrong with obviously trading it. If you saw something like this on Friday, if we look here, where the market is kind of stuck, it's not really made a large move because it's in and around here, there's no profit to be taken here. You want to be looking for the large extended moves where money has to come out of the market with people taking profits. So I'm very hopeful, guys, that this video has been obviously insightful and somewhat helpful in your trading journey. If you are obviously learning something from this video, please just drop a like or comment, whatever it is. It does really help. And yes, guys, I will see you in